You just lost $300 in 4 minutes. Your chest tightens, your jaw clenches, the screen glows red. Every fiber in your body screams one thing: get it back, right now. You click buy, position size doubles. No plan, no logic, just rage wrapped in desperation. And in that moment, you're not a trader anymore. You're a gambler on tilt, watching your account bleed out in real time. Sound familiar? Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. That feeling you just had, it's not weakness, it's biology, and it's destroying your trading career one impulsive click at a time. But what if I told you there's a way to stop it? Not with discipline, not with willpower, but with 3 seconds. 3 seconds that stand between you and financial self-destruction. 3 seconds that separate profitable traders from those who blow accounts. You think you don't have time for 3 seconds? Then ask yourself this: how much time did you just waste destroying your progress? By the end of this video, you'll understand the exact neurological trap that triggers revenge trading. You'll know why your brain betrays you after every loss. And you'll walk away with a battle-tested framework, a system so simple it fits in 3 seconds, yet so powerful it can save your entire trading career. This isn't theory, this isn't motivational fluff. This is the psychological circuit breaker that elite traders use, the one thing standing between emotional chaos and calculated control. You've searched for this answer in 1,000 videos. You've blamed yourself for lacking discipline. But the real problem? Nobody ever gave you the right tool. Until now. Because what you're about to discover changes everything. It's the missing piece you've been searching for in the dark. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's talk about what really happens in that moment. You're sitting there, alone. The room is dark except for the glow of your screen. You just watched a trade go against you. Maybe you held too long. Maybe you ignored your stop loss. Doesn't matter now. The damage is done. And your brain starts whispering, you can fix this. One more trade. Just recover what you lost. It feels logical. It feels necessary. But here's what's really happening. Your brain is flooding with cortisol. Your amygdala has hijacked your prefrontal cortex. Translation: the emotional part of your brain just knocked out the rational part. You're no longer thinking, you're reacting, and every reaction feels like a decision. You tell yourself it's different this time. You tell yourself you see an opportunity, but deep down, you know the truth. This isn't strategy. This is desperation wearing a mask. Have you been there? Of course you have. Every trader has. But here's what makes it worse. The more you lose, the stronger the urge becomes. It's not linear, it's exponential. One bad trade becomes 2, 2 becomes 5, and suddenly you're in a hole so deep you can't see daylight. Your hands shake, your heart races, you're sweating even though the room is cold, and you keep clicking, keep entering, keep hoping the next one will save you. Here's the real kicker. You know you're doing it. In real time, you know it's wrong, but you can't stop. It's like watching yourself from outside your body, screaming at yourself to step away, but your hands won't listen. Your cursor moves on its own. Click, enter, watch, lose, repeat. And with every loss, the voice gets louder. You have to win it back. You can't end the day like this. What will they think? What will you think of yourself? So you double down again. Bigger size, tighter stop, less room for error. And the market doesn't care about your feelings. It takes what you're offering, again and again and again. By the time you finally stop, the damage is catastrophic, not just to your account, to your psychology, to your belief in yourself. You close the platform, stare at the screen, and ask the question every revenge trader asks: why do I keep doing this to myself? You've tried affirmations, you've tried discipline, you've tried writing rules on sticky notes plastered around your desk, but the moment emotion strikes, all of it vanishes, like it never existed, and you're back in the cycle, the same painful, predictable cycle. Sound familiar? Then you need to understand something crucial. This isn't about you being weak. This isn't about you lacking commitment. This is about your brain running ancient software in a modern environment. And once you see how that software works, everything changes. Let me show you what's really happening inside your skull. When you take a loss, your brain registers it as a threat, not a financial inconvenience, a threat to survival. Your amygdala, the ancient alarm system in your brain, doesn't know the difference between a losing trade and a predator in the wild. It just knows something bad happened, and it demands immediate action, fight or flight. But here's the problem. You can't run from a trading screen. So your brain defaults to fight mode. And fighting in trading means revenge. It means taking aggressive action to restore what was taken from you. This is hardwired. This is millions of years of evolution telling you to respond to threats with force. And your rational brain, your prefrontal cortex, tries to intervene. It whispers caution. It suggests stepping away. But it's too slow. The emotional brain is faster, by milliseconds. And in trading, milliseconds are everything. By the time logic arrives at the party, emotion has already made the decision. Click. Position entered. Loss compounded. Now add another layer. Loss aversion. Humans feel losses twice as intensely as gains. Lose $100? It hurts. Make $100 feels nice, but not twice as nice. This asymmetry creates a psychological debt. Your brain wants to erase the pain, not by healing, by winning it back, by proving the loss was just a fluke, just bad luck, just a temporary setback. But it gets darker. Every time you revenge trade and lose, you reinforce a neural pathway. You're literally training your brain that this is the correct response to loss. The more you do it, the stronger the pattern becomes, until it's automatic, until you're not even aware it's happening. You just find yourself in a position you don't remember entering. Here's the part they don't tell you. Revenge trading isn't about the market. It's about you trying to regulate your emotions through external validation. You feel bad, you need to feel good, and the only way you know how is to win. So you chase the win. Not because you see an edge, but because you need the dopamine hit. You need the relief. You need to prove to yourself that you're still in control, even though seeking that proof is the clearest sign you've already lost control. Think about the last time you revenge traded. What were you really after? The money or the feeling of redemption? Be honest with yourself right now. You wanted to feel capable again. You wanted to erase the sting of failure. You wanted to prove you're not a failure. And that's the trap, because trading to fix your emotions is like drinking to cure a hangover. It might numb the pain temporarily, but it makes the underlying problem worse. Your brain learns that emotional discomfort equals trading opportunity, and that equation will destroy you. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine a stick figure in a dark room, hunched over a glowing screen, charts flashing red. The figure's head is down, shoulders tight. Then the screen flashes green, just for a second. The figure sits up, eyes wide, hand hovering over the mouse. This is the moment where everything hangs in balance. Enter or walk away. Trade or breathe. Destruction or survival. And here's what most traders don't realize. That moment isn't about strength. It's about having a system for that exact second. A circuit breaker, a mental algorithm that runs faster than emotion. That's what we're building here. That's what the 3-second rule really is. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. What if you could interrupt that moment? What if you had a way to hijack your own hijacking? Stay with me, because what comes next is the framework that changes everything.
Now let me give you the framework that changes everything. The 3-second rule. It sounds simple. Almost too simple, but that's exactly why it works. When you feel the urge to revenge trade, you don't fight it, you don't resist it, you pause it for exactly 3 seconds. Not 5, not 10, 3. Here's why 3 seconds is the magic number. It's long enough to interrupt the automatic emotional response, but short enough that your brain doesn't rebel against it. Tell yourself you need to wait 5 minutes and you'll negotiate, you'll rationalize, you'll override your own rule. But 3 seconds? Anyone can do 3 seconds, even in the heat of emotional chaos, even when your amygdala is screaming. So here's the step-by-step system. Memorize this, internalize this, let it become your new operating system. Step 1, recognize the trigger. The moment you feel the urge to enter a trade after a loss, stop. Label it. Say it out loud if you have to. This is revenge. This is emotion. This is not strategy. Labeling interrupts the automatic pattern. It forces your conscious brain back online, even for a split second. And that split second is your foothold. Step 2, start the 3-second count. Don't think, don't analyze, just count. 1, 2, 3. Out loud or in your head, doesn't matter. The act of counting engages your prefrontal cortex. It redirects neural activity from emotion to task. And in those 3 seconds, your brain chemistry starts to shift. Cortisol begins to drop. Logic begins to return. Not completely, but enough. Step 3. Ask one question. After 3 seconds, ask yourself this. If I entered this trade and lost, would I be okay with the reason why? Not the outcome, the reason. Would you be okay telling yourself you lost because you were emotional, because you were desperate, because you ignored every rule you set? If the answer is no, you don't take the trade. This question is the filter, the psychological checkpoint. It forces you to confront the truth about your motivation. And most of the time, that truth is enough to stop you. Step 4. Physically move. If the urge is still there after 3 seconds and the question, move your body. Stand up. Walk 3 steps, touch a wall, drink water. Doesn't matter what you do, just break the physical pattern. Your body holds emotional state. Change your body, change your state. This is non-negotiable. If you stay in the same position, staring at the same screen, the urge will return, stronger than before. Step 5, write it down. Keep a notebook next to your setup. Physical notebook, not digital. When you successfully use the 3-second rule, write the time and what you felt. I wanted to revenge trade. I paused, I walked away. This creates a success log, a record of wins that have nothing to do with money. Every time you write it down, you reinforce the new pattern. You're literally rewiring your brain, creating a new neural pathway that says pausing is powerful. Step 6, set a minimum time. After using the 3-second rule, you're not allowed to trade for at least 10 minutes. No exceptions, no negotiations. This is the cooling off period, the space your brain needs to fully reset. 10 minutes feels like forever when you're emotional, but it's nothing in the grand scheme. Set a timer, walk away, come back when it goes off, and here's what you'll find. 9 times out of 10, the urge is gone. The trade you thought was urgent, it's not even there anymore. Or worse, it would have lost, and you just saved yourself from another wound. Step 7. Celebrate the pause. Every time you use the system successfully, acknowledge it. Not with rewards, with recognition. You just did something 90% of traders can't do. You interrupted your own biology. You acted against millions of years of evolution. That's not small, that's massive. And your brain needs to know it was the right move. So tell yourself, I'm proud of this. I'm becoming the trader I want to be, one pause at a time. Here's what makes this framework unbreakable. It doesn't rely on willpower. Willpower is finite. It runs out, especially after losses when you're already depleted. This system relies on procedure, on micro actions that require almost zero mental energy. Count to 3, easy. Ask one question, simple. Move your body, automatic. Each step is so small your brain can't resist it. But together, they create an impenetrable wall between emotion and action. Now, let me tell you what happens if you skip these steps, if you think you can just wing it, if you believe you'll remember in the moment. You won't, because the moment isn't logical. The moment is chemical warfare in your skull, and without a system, emotion wins every single time. I've seen traders with 20 years of experience blow accounts because they thought they were above this. They thought experience made them immune. It doesn't. It never does. The only thing that protects you is process. The only thing that saves you is the circuit breaker. And the 3-second rule is that circuit breaker. So commit to it right now, not later, not after the next loss, right now. Because the next loss is coming, it always does. And when it arrives, you need to already know what to do. You need this system burned into your muscle memory. Rehearse it when you're calm. Visualize it when you're safe. So when chaos comes, your body knows the moves, without thinking, without hesitation, without negotiation. But here's where it gets real. Let me show you what this looks like in practice, because theory is one thing, survival is another. Let me tell you about a trader. Let's call them Shadow. Shadow sits in a dark room. The only light comes from 3 monitors, charts everywhere, red candles cascading down like digital blood. Shadow just lost $400. One trade, stopped out at the worst possible moment. Their chest burns, fists clench. The cursor moves toward the buy button, bigger size this time, double the risk. The voice in their head screams, "You can't let this stand. You have to fix this, now." Shadow's finger hovers over the mouse, one click away from entering, one click away from potential disaster. But something different happens this time. Shadow remembers. 3 seconds. The count begins. 1. Shadow's jaw is still clenched. 2. Heart still pounding. 3. And in that 3rd second, something shifts. Shadow asks the question, "If I lose this trade, will I be okay with the reason why?" The answer comes immediately. No, this isn't strategy. This is rage. This is desperation wearing a trader's mask. Shadow stands up, walks to the window, stares out at the neon glow of the city, breathes. The urge is still there, clawing, demanding, but it's quieter now, muted. Shadow writes in the notebook, "Wanted revenge, stopped at 3 seconds, walked away, feels like losing, but also feels like winning." 10 minutes pass. Shadow returns to the desk, looks at the charts. The setup that felt so urgent, it's gone. The candle that would have triggered the entry, it spiked against Shadow's direction. Would have been another loss. Would have been $800 gone instead of 4. Shadow exhales, long, slow, controlled. The 3-second rule just saved the account. More importantly, it saved Shadow from Shadow. Days later, Shadow faces another loss, smaller this time, but the urge returns just as strong. Muscle memory kicks in. 1, 2, 3. Ask the question, move the body, write it down, wait. And again, the urge fades. Again, the account survives. Again, Shadow gets stronger. Because here's the truth about this system. It's not about stopping revenge trading forever in one moment. It's about stopping it once, then stopping it again, then again, until stopping becomes the default, until the 3-second pause is automatic, until your brain learns that the real power isn't in the trade, it's in the pause. Shadow isn't special. Shadow isn't gifted with superhuman discipline. Shadow just has a system, a simple, repeatable 3-second system. And that system is the difference between survival and destruction. You can be Shadow. You already are Shadow. You just need to give yourself the same tool, the same circuit breaker, the same chance to interrupt the pattern before it destroys you. Because every revenge trade you avoid is a win. Every pause is progress. Every 3 seconds is a vote for the trader you're becoming, not the one you've been, the one you're building, 3 seconds at a time. Here's what you need to understand. Revenge trading isn't your enemy, it's a symptom, a warning light on your psychological dashboard telling you something is broken in your process. And the 3-second rule isn't just a technique, it's a declaration, a statement that you're no longer willing to let emotion dictate your financial future, that you're no longer willing to sacrifice your account on the altar of ego, that you're ready to become the trader who survives, not because you never feel the urge, but because you've mastered the pause. The market will always try to provoke you, losses will always sting, emotion will always rise, but none of that matters if you have a system that stands between impulse and action. 3 seconds, 1 question, physical movement, written record, cooling period, acknowledgement. That's the fortress. That's the wall that protects everything you're building. So the next time you feel that familiar burn, that urge to fix it right now, remember this video. Remember Shadow staring out at the neon city. Remember that the pause isn't weakness. The pause is power, and you already have everything you need to make it yours. The traders who survive aren't the ones with the biggest accounts. They're not the ones with the most experience. They're not even the ones with the best strategies. They're the ones who master the space between stimulus and response. The ones who understand that 3 seconds can be worth $3,000. The ones who refuse to let biology dictate their future. You're one of them now. You have the system. You have the framework.
You have the circuit breaker. All that's left is to use it. Comment control if you're ready to master the 3-second rule. Let me know you're committing to the pause, because the traders who win aren't the ones who never feel revenge. They're the ones who refuse to act on it, 3 seconds at a time.